for failing to comply with terms of sentence. Mr. Olivas, you can't say not guilty. That's not your.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby.
The only thing
Thank you, babe.
you don't.
It's true.
The only thing that I need to hear from you is your feelings on conditions of release. Contact, return, hold her, release her. What sort of input would you like to provide on that? She hasn't shown up in court on 2 other cases in justice court from very recently. Well, I'm just telling you that that's what I'm looking at right now. You cannot drop charges. That is not your prerogative. The state is the one that brings the charges. As I said, it's the state pressing the charges. You cannot drop them. All right, thank you. All right, your next court date on the 3 justice court cases is going to be on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Bond is $100 cash on each file. No contact with Mr. Olivas. You don't go back to his residence or workplace. No alcohol, illegal drugs. And you need to start the process if you're out of custody of behavioral health assessment and treatment.
Am I being released?
No. You've been released twice recently and didn't appear either time.
I don't have any notification of that after my court appearances that I was supposed to, like, I don't.
They would have given it to you before you got left the jail. Twice in August. And We have charges that go back to 2018 in Tucson City Court. You didn't appear numerous times. On the city case, bond is $500, but that can be cash or secured. Your next court date on these will be next Monday. That's a week from tomorrow at 1:45. Right, thank you, Ms. Bach.
Do I stay till the next courts? Go there. I'm sure I'll stand up.
Unless you post the bonds, yes.
Oh, no. Okay. That's up to Marcos. Trevor. Yeah. Let's see the difference. Let's see.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are.
Bailey Hill.
In jail, his probation placed a hold.
No, Your Honor.
You would go ahead and put him on speaker. Mr. Hill, your father is on the phone. We've just put him on speakerphone.
Okay.
The charges before you are domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence assault, domestic violence, criminal damage. And Mr. Hill, did you wish to be heard on conditions of release, not the charges, but simply conditions of release? Mr. Hill, are you ready to look in here? Yeah. Couldn't hear that. Couldn't hear that. Sorry. Please, well, please come on. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Mr. Hill, your next court date is going to be November 26th at 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. Am I being OR'd?
You will be this time, but conditions are no alcohol or illegal drugs, no
Got
active domestic violence, and you need to participate in behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You need to contact your probation officer tomorrow.
I will.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. Alma, will you close Baca, because I want something in there. All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. It'll be a couple of hours before he's actually leaving. Okay. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Good evening. I'm Ethan Levy, ma'am.
Mr. Levy. Citation is charging you with domestic violence, criminal trespass, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Your next court date on this is going to be November the 25th at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Tucson City Court. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
I understand, ma'am.
You are not committing any acts of domestic violence. You're not to have any contact at all with Wayne Baez. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to go within 2 blocks of his residence. Do you understand that?
Absolutely, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Levy.
No problem.
If you need help with housing or something like that, check in with the transition center on your way out of the, right after you leave
Thank
the
you.
building.
I definitely do.
Okay, there's a transition center. I think there's a blue stripe that'll direct you to that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Your Honor,
Yes.
this is the jail. Oscar Melamondo is currently uncooperative right now.
All right, we'll continue into the morning.
Okay, sounds good. Rodriguez? Hello.
Do we have the interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're gonna need him for the next 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Muy buenas noches, le habla la juez. ¿Usted cómo se llama?
Víctor Mendoza Rodríguez.
Víctor Mendoza Rodríguez.
And jail has hold been placed?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Rodriguez, I have an complaint charging you with aggravated driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor and possession of narcotics.
Bueno, señor, el día de hoy usted se le acusa, señor Rodríguez, de conducir de una manera con agravantes y también con posesión de narcóticos y conducir bajo la influencia.
Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Ahora se le va a asignar un defensor público para que lo represente y pregunta a la juez que si el abogado desea ser escuchado.
Your Honor, I'd like to be heard. So we'd be asking for his release in this case.
Y dice el abogado defensor, su señoría, nosotros quisiéramos pedir que quede liberado el señor en este caso.
He doesn't have any priors, not even a prior DUI. He has housing and full-time employment. He's only 21 and he's scoring a 1 on the FTA scale and a 2 on the NCA scale.
Y dice su abogado defensor, dada la razón de que no tiene antecedentes penales, ni siquiera tiene otro DUI como antecedente, tiene un lugar estable donde vivir y tiene trabajo de tiempo completo, tiene 21 años y en la escala de FTA salió en un 1 y en la escala de NCA salió en un 2.
At this point, Your Honor, his license would be suspended, and there's no...
He doesn't have a license or an ID, nor do we have any verifications.
Y dice la juez, pero ni siquiera tiene la licencia suspendida porque no tiene licencia y tampoco tiene una identificación.
Well, regardless, Your Honor, there's no indication he won't follow your release conditions given his lack of priors, and I imagine not driving would be one of them. So that's why we're asking for his release.
Y dice la fiscal, bueno, sin importar eso, no hay alguna indicación de que él no vaya a cumplir con las condiciones de liberación. Y tampoco hay indicación de que, pues porque no tiene antecedentes penales, de que vaya a conducir otra vez un coche. Por eso pedimos que quede liberado.
And anything further, Mr. Gant?
No, thank you, Judge. I'm just primarily concerned about the nature of the offense, driving the wrong way, and thinks the court has already listed the...
Y dice el fiscal que pues la única preocupación es la naturaleza del delito, que el señor iba conduciendo en el lado equivocado. En sentido contrario, perdón.
Preliminary hearing date's November the 6th at 1:30. Bond is $5,000. The reason for the hold is we have no verification of an address of employment.
Y dice la juez que su próxima audiencia va a ser el 6 de noviembre a la 1:30 y se le fija una fianza de $5,000 y la razón para eso es porque no tenemos ninguna dirección para poder verificar dónde trabaja y dónde vive.
Oh, yo me sé mis direcciones.
I do know my addresses. I do know them.
But there is no one to verify those. You didn't provide any references to verify them.
Pero usted no nos proporcionó los nombres de personas para poderlas verificar.
No me preguntaron nada a mí.
Well, they didn't ask me anything of that.
La address sí se las di bien, es 3532 East Little Sunshine Street. Vivo con mi tía y trabajo en una compañía de landscaping que se llama Santa Rita, que está por la Grand y la Fairview casi. Entre en la Grand y la Fairview y otra avenida, pero se llama Santa Rita. Landscaping.
Okay. Un momentito. And my address is 3532 East US Sunrise, and I do live with my aunt, and I am employed by a company in landscaping. It's Santa Rita Landscaping. It's on Grant and Fairview.
My foreman se llama Javier. My supervisor, the name is Matt.
And my foreman's name is Javier, and my supervisor's name is Matt.
That's fine, but we have not received any information to verify those things.
Lo que pasa es que no hemos recibido nosotros información para poder verificar esa información.
You know your aunt's phone number?
It's in my phone. Yeah,
Do you know anyone's phone number?
only in the phones, look in the, website is, Santa Rita and phone numbers and everything.
Okay.
No driving without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no alcohol in your residence or vehicle. You're not to go anywhere that alcohol is served or consumed.
Usted no puede entonces ir a lugares donde se consume alcohol, no debe de consumir bebidas alcohólicas, no puede conducir sin una licencia válida o vigente.
And your next court date is November the 6th at 1:30.
Y su próxima audiencia es el día 6 de noviembre a la 1:30.
And I would
Okay.
suggest that you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney.
Y le sugiero que no hable de su caso, a excepción nada más con su abogado.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ok. Gracias.
Hello.
Both of them? Do you want to go to the street? Or you put the. If I think.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Muy buenas tardes, le habla la juez Sharon y dígame, ¿usted cómo se llama?
Guillermo Sosa. Gómez.
Guillermo Sosa Gómez.
I have a variety of things here for you.
Tengo varias cosas aquí para usted.
First thing I have for you is charges of possession of narcotics.
Lo primero que tengo es posesión de un narcótico.
Sí.
On this matter, we'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
En este asunto le voy a asignar un defensor público para que lo represente.
Sí, gracias.
Thank you.
You appear to be eligible for smart court, which may be a diversion court that can result in a dismissal of charges if you successfully complete a term of treatment.
Bueno, parece que usted cumple con los requisitos para lo que se le llama aquí un Smart Court y que si usted cumple con todos los términos y sale exitoso en ese tratamiento de rehabilitación, se puede considerar entonces un delito menor.
Sí.
Are you in,
Okay.
Are you
¿A usted le
interested in
interesa?
considering that court?
¿A usted le interesa participar en este Smart Court, en este tratamiento?
Que si, lo que estoy entendiendo es que si quiere, como, ¿me lo puede explicar otra vez? No lo entendí bien.
Can you explain it again to me because gonna need to hear it again?
Certainly, Smart Court is a treatment court.
Bueno, lo que se llama Smart Court es un tratamiento.
That we're required
Tratamiento.
to participate in that program. And if you,
¿Y a usted le interesa participar en ese programa de tratamiento?
and
En un
if,
programa para tratarme a mí, eso es o sea, de hecho yo estoy intentando, estoy tratando de hacer todas las cosas, lo quiero intento hacerlo bien, he estado yendo a, a tratar de internarme, pero duraron mucho tiempo en recibirme, me pusieron un traje y todo eso.
Okay, un momentito.
Sí.
So you're saying that to treat me, because I'm trying to do things right, I'm trying to do it on my own, and I went to this place, but they took for a very, very long time to receive me, and they gave me this gown.
but yes, this is a court supervised treatment program.
Sí, señor. Esto sería un programa supervisado por el tribunal.
Sí,
Okay.
So did you want to try
Pero
that?
usted quiere participar, le interesa.
sí, quiero empezar.
Yes, I'd like to start.
Did council waive time for preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Y pregunta a la juez que si el abogado renuncia a la audiencia preliminar y dice que sí.
A ver, me repite por favor.
Could you repeat that, please?
No,
I was asking your attorney if she was willing to waive the time so I can set off a court hearing more than it would normally be set. To
Lo que
allow you
pasa
to
es que
do this
dice,
program.
Lo que pasa es que dice la juez, le estoy preguntando a su abogada que si su abogada excluye el plazo legal para que yo extienda el periodo para la próxima audiencia para que usted tenga tiempo de ir a ese tratamiento y participar en ese tratamiento y su abogada dijo que sí.
y pregúntale a la abogada si eso es o sea, lo mejor para mí, pues, porque no
And so
tengo comunicación con ella yo.
I would like to ask my attorney if that is the best course for me.
Certainly take a moment to speak with your attorney.
Claro que sí, puede usted hablar con su abogada y preguntarle, claro que sí.
Ella dice que no habla español y yo tampoco hablo inglés.
Well, she doesn't speak Spanish and I don't speak English, so I can't.
Pero
You can always change your mind later.
Señor, si usted cambia de opinión después y no quiere participar en este tratamiento, nos puede hacer saber, no hay ningún problema.
But since complying with this program could result in dismissal of the drug charges,
Pero si usted cumple con el tratamiento, con el programa y lo cumple exitosamente, luego los cargos se pueden cancelar.
sí me interesa mucho.
Yes, I'm very much interested.
okay.
Creo que eso es la mejor.
So your next court date is actually November the 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Entonces, usted se tiene que presentar el 5 de noviembre a las 9 de la mañana.
In the Pima County Superior Court.
Y se tiene que presentar, señor, en el Tribunal Superior, en Superior Court.
Sí,
Yes.
Preliminary hearing date right now is set for December the 19th at 1:30.
Y ahorita, en este momento, le voy a fijar una audiencia preliminar para el 19 de diciembre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Ok.
Okay.
I also have a series of charges out of Tucson City Court.
Ahora, también tengo varias acusaciones que salieron o se emitieron del Tribunal de la Ciudad, de Tucson City Court.
Your Honor, did you release him to pretrial?
Yes.
Okay. Y le pregunta a la abogada que está enseguida de usted que si lo liberó en ese caso a los servicios previos al juicio, y la juez dijo que sí.
So I have charges here from the 3rd of August.
Bueno, tengo una acusación aquí del 3 de agosto.
Charging you with domestic violence violation of a court order.
Y que es violencia doméstica, que usted quebrantó un mandato judicial.
I have charges for domestic violence assault.
También tengo una acusación por agresión que se considera violencia doméstica,
Alleged to have occurred on the 8th of March.
y presuntamente esto sucedió el 8 de marzo.
And domestic violence disorderly conduct.
Y también tengo alteración al orden público que se considera violencia doméstica.
Also from the 8th of March.
Y también cometida el 8 de marzo.
Your next court date on these is November the 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Ahora, su próxima audiencia para estas acusaciones que le acabo de decir es el 26 de noviembre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Your attorney doesn't represent you on these charges.
Su abogada no lo va a representar en estas acusaciones, en estas últimas.
If your attorney tells you you don't have to go to court, you still need to come to city court on November the 26th at 1:30.
Entonces, si su abogada le dice que no tiene que ir al juzgado, usted de todas maneras tiene que ir a City Court el día 26 de noviembre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
In the meantime, no alcohol or illegal drugs.
Y mientras tanto, usted no debe de consumir bebidas alcohólicas ni tampoco drogas ilegales.
Okay.
Okay.
You need to comply with Smart Court.
Usted debe de cumplir con todo lo que le indiquen en Smart Court, es el programa de tratamiento.
You have no contact with Diana except through legal proceedings.
Usted no puede tener contacto con Diana a menos que sea por un proceso judicial.
You don't go near her residence or workplace.
Usted no debe de ir ni a la casa de ella ni a donde trabaja tampoco.
Do you understand that?
Sí.
¿Le quedó claro, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Es todo por hoy.
¿Cómo? Una pregunta.
I do have a
No,
question.
de todas las cosas, o sea, no voy a salir de aquí de la cárcel ahorita o tengo que, o sea,
Ujú.
¿qué es lo que sigue aquí? ¿No tengo fianza o algo así?
Okay, so am I not going to be released from jail right now, or how do I get to my next court hearing? Because, or is there a bond set?
Yep, there is no bond.
Okay. No se le fijó fianza, no.
On the felony charge, you will be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services.
En las acusaciones por delito grave, las felonías, usted va a salir libre, pero va a quedar libre bajo la supervisión de los servicios previos al juicio.
Sí, como es como un
You will be
en probation.
you will be given information on how to report to them, but you need to stay in touch with them and follow their orders.
Sí, y se le va a dar información de cómo se tiene que estar reportando con ellos y comunicarse con ellos, hacer todo lo que le indiquen.
Sí.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Sí, bien. Gracias.
Thank you. And Your Honor, was that the last Spanish speaker for tonight?
As far as I know. Yes.
May the interpreter be excused then. Thank you. Good night.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are
Isaac Gastellum, Your Honor.
Mr. Gastellum. Interim complaint
Yes,
here
sir.
charging you with unlawful discharge of a firearm. And then on another date, possession of narcotic drug, possession of paraphernalia. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and that either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to be heard on both charges in this case, or I guess all three charges. These are considered non-violent offenses by pretrial services. He's scoring a level 1 on their supervision matrix. He has absolutely no priors. He's an FTA scale, he's a 1. He's a 2 on the NTA scale. He claims to have housing and employment. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I don't believe that a bond is necessary in this case, and we'd be asking you give him a chance on pretrial services.
Anything further, Mr. Gant?
Just that I'm not sure how that scores as a judge. I don't understand the score right now, apparently, but him being on video discharging a firearm from the air or from a moving vehicle into the air seems concerning to the state, given that and the other charges we're asking the
I'm gonna give you a chance and release you to pretrial services, but there are gonna be some pretty strict conditions. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Absolutely no firearms or weapons. Any firearms need to be surrendered to Tucson Police Department this week. You're not to have contact with any alleged victims or any potential co-defendants except through legal counsel. You're not to return to the incident location. Substance abuse assessment and treatment under the direction of pretrial services. There's to be no firearms in your residence or any vehicles you're in or in your vicinity. Hanging with friends, they can't have firearms. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do understand.
Preliminary hearing dates November the 18th at 1:30. Other than in the course of assessment and treatment, I'd suggest you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney. Thank you, Mr. Gastellum.
Yeah, he needs stuff. What's the name?
Gabriel,
What's last name?
Parada, P-A-R-A-D.
Hello.
Hi.
No, it's cool, just.
What happened to Mr. Huerta?
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, I think you.
Oh, he's next? Oh,
Or, yeah.
Thank you, small that one.
Good evening, I'm Judge Sayed, and you, sir, are.
Osvaldo Huerta, Your Honor.
He just went.
The inner complaint charging with aggravated driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor. Alleged to have occurred early today. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and that either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions.
Yes, Your Honor. We'd ask you release him to pretrial services. He's scoring level 1 on their supervision matrix. It's considered a non-violent offense. He does have, he claims to have housing and employment. He has no priors at 31 years old. Doesn't look like any prior DUIs. He's scoring a 2 on both the scales. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, we're asking you give him a chance on pretrial services.
Anything further, Mr. Gale?
No, thank you, Judge.
Preliminary hearing date's November the 18th at 1:30. You'll be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision. You will stay in touch with them, report to them as they direct. You will not drive without a valid license. You will not consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. There's to be no alcohol in your residence or any vehicles that you're in. You're not to go anywhere that alcohol is served or consumed. And I would suggest that you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney or in the course of treatment for substance abuse. Do you understand that?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Huerta.
Parada.
Good evening, I'm Judge Fayette, and you are
I'm Gabriel Parada, Your Honor.
Mr. Parada, and we're charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, recklessly handling a deadly weapon.
We just need to have a word with him, Your Honor.
You may.
And Your Honor, I'm actually gonna request that this hearing be rescheduled to the morning so he can verify, housing away from the victim.
Okay. Continue until tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out.
Hello.
No.
Good evening. You are
Rudy Rosa.
Mr. Rosa, in a complaint charging possession of narcotic drugs, possession of narcotic drugs for sale. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and if either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't believe that a $15,000 bond, which is the state's recommendation, is necessary in this case. It looks like he's homeless, so it doesn't sound like he has a lot of financial backing. His priors are mostly drug related. The last prior was from 2020. So given those factors, Your Honor, we'd be asking for no more than a $10,000.
Date is November the 6th at 1:30. Bond is $10,000. If you post the bond, it'll be an exclusion of pretrial services. You don't return to any Circle K stores. No alcohol or liquor drugs. You need to engage in substance abuse assessment and treatment is available while you're in custody or is directed by pretrial services when you're out of custody. And other than in the course of that assessment and treatment, I'd suggest you not discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. And as it's your felony matter, I have a stack of misdemeanor files here for you. I have charges from May 11th of last year for possession of paraphernalia, along with just a couple failures to appear. Charges for criminal trespass on October 30th of last year.
Everyone?
On the failure to criminal trespass on March 2nd of this year. Along with failures to appear. I will release you on these charges. Your out of custody date's December the 2nd at 2:00. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go back to 5445 East 29th, 5740 East 22nd, or to any Circle K. Again, substance abuse assessment treatment. If you're still in custody, there will be review hearing set for November the 19th at about 1:45. Thank you, Mr. Rosas.
Hey, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Now that I'm looking at my notes, can I be heard on probable cause for the felony? I forgot to ask about it.
We've finished the felony.
Okay, you can't reopen it?
Oh, I saw.
You can challenge it in another court hearing, but
Okay.
and as I recall, this was sale of 2 fentanyl pills.
I can't hear you, Your Honor.
Oh, just reviewing it, this was, the allegations were sale of M30s. That's sufficient probable cause.
Well, there's no ID. They just state his name and he wasn't arrested on that same date. That was from over a month ago. There's no indication as to how they identified him.
We'll let you address that at another hearing.
Is that it for the calendar, Judge? If so, might be excused.
Yeah, we've got one more felony, but it's an out of county, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can stick around for that. I forgot.
Hello.
Good evening, I'm Judge Tate, and you are?
State your name. My name is Jamie Carlos Marquez Vega.
Mr. Vega. I have a warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court charging you with possession of dangerous drugs. The bond that they set
Don't talk.
was $250.
Yes, ma'am.
If you post the bond, you need to contact them immediately to get a new court date. If you do not post the bond and they have not picked you up, we'll set a review hearing for November 27th at 9 a.m. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to remain within the state of Arizona. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Vega. Off the record.
Have a good night, Your Honor.